Moment for everyone to set up. Thank you so much for joining me. Just a couple of minutes more for everyone to set up. Just make sure you have your props if you're using any props, any blankets, cushions, bolsters if you have, blocks or thick books, whatever you have at home is great. So take your time. Take your time to set up your mat and um, and to arrive in your practice. As soon as you start feeling ready, hello everyone, great. Wait a couple of minutes. As soon as we start feeling ready, come to a seated position. It's important to keep the hips elevated so the knees are below the hips and we don't force the knees or the knee joints into a position that is very uncomfortable. So trying to keep the hips elevated helps the torso to be a little bit taller and also, like the helping us reaching the crown towards the sky and letting us be grounded through the sit bones as well. Taking your time to roll your shoulders back, to leave your palms resting on your lap. Let's take a couple of breaths in here. Let's take a deep inhale. And a full exhale to let it go. Inhale one more time. Exhale to ground on our mat. Let's do that again. Deep inhale. And a long breath out. If you feel comfortable, bring your hands at the center of the chest. Roll your shoulders back. Your chin tucks a little here, keeping the spine and neck long. Take a deep inhale here. Full breath out. If you're comfortable only at home with me, please join me with the sound of Om. If not, just enjoy the sound. Take a deep inhale to Om. Om. Sahana Bhavatu. Sahana Punastu. Sahaviryam Karvavahai. Tejasvinavaditamastu. Mahim Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Releasing your hands, rolling your shoulders back, bring your hands to your knees. Rolling your shoulders back, opening the chest, arching the back a little bit. Exhale to round the spine, bring the shoulders in. Take a deep inhale as you open the chest, roll your shoulders back, maybe look up. Exhale to round the spine, bring the shoulders in as the spine rounds. Take a deep inhale as you open. On the exhale, we round. With every round, we'll start opening a little bit more. Take one more in to open the chest. Maybe you look up. Exhale to round the spine. Bring the chin in, tailbone tuck. Take a deep inhale as you come back to center. Place your hands on the ground and find your standing position at the top of your mat. We're going to start our practice in our standing position at the top of the mat in Tadasana, equal standing position, or Samasthiti. Take a deep inhale as you roll the shoulders, rotate your shoulders and open the hands towards the front of the room, grounding through your feet. Take a look at your feet. Make sure you spread your toes in here. Maybe the big toes touch. The heels are slightly apart. Tailbone tucks in and the navel comes in as well. Deep breath in here. Long breath out. Grounding through the feet. One more in. And a long exhale. On your next inhale, reach your hands overhead. On the exhale, release your hands towards your side. Let's do that again. Deep inhale, reaching your hands overhead. On the exhale, we release towards your sides again. One more time. Deep inhale, reach it up. Maybe you come to the tiptoes, bringing the heels up. On the exhale, hands come down from the center and we sit low. Take a deep inhale as we reach the hands up, come to the tiptoes. On the exhale, we release the palms by our side. Let's do that again. Deep inhale, reaching up, come to the tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees, keep your hips low, arms come in front of you. Take a deep inhale, reach it up. Exhale, release by your side. Inhale, reach up, come to the tiptoes. Exhale, sit low, bending your knees. Take a deep inhale, reaching back up. On the exhale, we release them by your sides. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Spread your toes wide on the mat. Take a deep breath in as you reach again the arms overhead. And on the exhale, we start leaning towards the right hand side. The hips travel towards the left hand side. The arms travel towards the right. You can stay in here, or maybe you grab your wrist and you open a little bit more. Take a breath, keep your chest open, and a long breath out. Last one, deep inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center, second side. Maybe you grab your wrist with the other hand and start pulling a little bit as the hips travel to the other side. We open the chest and we open the side body. Take another breath. Empty it out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we start coming back to center. Release your hands by your sides. Feet come together. Let's do a little revision of the Surya Namaskar. Surya means sun, Namaskar means salutation. There is different sun salutations in different traditions. We're gonna go through 3 types of sun salutations. All right, so let's start at the top of the mat. Roll your shoulders back. Again, Tadasana or Samasthiti with your hands pointing towards the front of the room, rolling the shoulders back. The chest is opening here, tailbone tucked. Take a deep breath in here. Long exhale, let it go. Maybe you exhale through the mouth. Take one more in as you reach your hands overhead. On the exhale, release the hands to the floor. Inhale to lengthen the spine. On the exhale, plant those hands on the mat, step back to your plank. Take it easy for the first one, lower your knees to the floor and lower all the way down to the floor. Find the cobra here, open your chest, your hips are still on the ground. On the exhale, we release back down. Let's do that again. Deep inhale, press your hands on the floor, open the chest. On the exhale, releasing to the ground. Last time, open your chest towards the front of the room. On the exhale, we release to the ground. Press those hands on the ground, tuck the toes. Step back to your table as you throw your hips up and back, coming to downward facing dog. Opening your feet, hip distance apart, spreading the toes wide, the fingers are wide as well. Take a breath. And out. One more, inhale. Full exhale. Last inhale here. And the long breath out. Inhale to bring your heels up, bend your knees, walk all the way to the top of the mat. Long spine, inhale. Exhale to fold. Rooting down through the feet, come all the way up. Exhale, arms by your side, Samasthiti. Let's do that again a little bit more fluidly. Let's bring the arms overhead. On the exhale, fold forward. Flat back, inhale. On the exhale, plant those hands on the ground. Step back to your plank. With knees or toes, we lower down. Spine in your back, and inhale. On the exhale, we push back, downward facing dog, and we breathe in here. We take a deep inhale. And a long breath out through the mouth, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. On your next inhale, bring your heels up, bend those knees, jump, step, or walk to the top of the mat. Long spine, inhale. On the exhale, we fold forward, root down to the feet, come all the way up. On the exhale, Samasthiti, hands by your side. Surya Namaskar, Hatha tradition. Bring your hands out the center of the chest. Roll the shoulders back. Take a breath. And out. Bring your hands overhead on an inhale. On the exhale, we fold forward. We plant the hands on the ground. Step the right foot back. The knee comes down. And we open the chest. The fingertips can stay on the floor, on block. Or you can open the chest, rolling the shoulders back, opening your hands towards the front of the room. The fingers are reaching towards the ground as well as your hips. Take one more breath. Full breath out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, plant those hands on the ground. Step back to your down dog. This time, instead of keeping the feet open, hip distance apart, bring your feet together in Parvatasana. Take one more breath here. Empty it out. At the end of the exhalation, we drop the knees. Open the chest in a cow pose position, bending the elbows, bringing the chin and chest to the ground, Ashtanga Namaskar. Bring your belly to the ground, find your cobra. On the exhale, push back, coming to Parvatasana or down dog. Take a breath. Long breath out. On your next inhale, step the right foot in between the hands, the back knee comes down. We open the chest again, reaching the hands down. We roll the shoulders back. The fingertips can stay on the floor. If you feel that you're collapsing in this pose, bring your hands back. Take one more breath. And out. Plant those hands on the floor, step forward, two fold. Rooting down through the feet, come all the way up. Exhale, hands at the center of the chest. Let's do that second side. Deep inhale, reach it up. Exhale to fold forward. Plant those hands, step the left foot back this time. The knee comes down. We open the chest, Anjaneyasana. Take a breath. And out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, plant those hands down. Step back to Parvatasana. Deep breath in. Empty it out. At the end of your exhalation, dropping the knees to the ground, arching the back a little bit, opening the chest. On the exhale, we start bending the elbows, dropping the chest and chin to the ground. Find your cobra, inhale. On the exhale, we push back, Parvatasana or down dog. Take a breath. Full breath out. On your next inhale, step the left foot in between the hands, the back knee comes down. We open the chest. We take a breath in here, Anjaneyasana, and out. The hips are going low. One more in. On the exhale, plant those hands on the floor, step forward, two fold. Rooting down, bring your hands up. On the exhale, hands at the center of the chest. Last sun salutation B from the Ashtanga tradition. Bring your hands by your side, Samasthiti. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, bring your hands overhead, Utkatasana. Take a breath in here and as you sit your hips low, try to bring your tailbone in. Take a breath. And out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we fold forward, straightening those legs. Inhale, head up. On the exhale, plant those hands on the floor, step back to your plank. With knees or toes, we lower down. Find your back and inhale. On the exhale, push back, downward facing dog. This time, feet separated. On your next inhale, step the right foot in between the hands. The back heel turns and comes down to the floor. Bring your hands overhead. Warrior one. Strong legs in here. Sitting your hips low. Take one more in. And out. Strong legs in here. One more. On the exhale, plant those hands on the floor, stepping back to your plank. Again, with knees or toes, we lower down. Finding your back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhaling, push back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step the left foot in between the hands. The back heel comes down, bringing your hands overhead. Take a breath. And out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, plant those hands on the floor, stepping back to your plank. Heels or toes or knees, open the chest. On the exhale, we release back to downward facing dog. And we take a breath. And we empty it out. One more inhale. Full exhale. On your next inhale, bend those knees, reach your heels up. Jump, step, or walk to the top of the mat. Long spine, inhale. On the exhale, we fold. Bending your knees, sitting your hips low. Find your Utkatasana, hands overhead. Take one more breath. Long breath out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, straight those legs, arms by your side, Samasthiti. Finding a little bit more stability in our poses is really important. Feeling grounded and feeling the roots, how we feel stable is something that is really important, and the yoga practice gives us a lot of that. So bring the hands to your hips. Root down through your right foot, spreading your toes. As you start feeling stable, start bringing your knee up, your left knee up. Maybe you stay here, leveling the hip. It is important that you find your drishti, or that point of concentration, the spot that is not moving in front of you. Maybe we start opening the knee towards the side, and if it's available, maybe you bring your foot to step on the inside of the thigh, the inside of the calf, or maybe even you bring your toes to the ground for stability. If the balance is good in here, maybe your hands come together at the center of your chest. If you want to challenge the balance a little bit more, maybe you reach your hands up or even behind you in reverse prayer. Take a breath and a long breath up. One more inhale, full exhale. With your strong standing leg, start closing your knee towards the center. Bring your hands to the center of the chest. Bringing the opposite hand to your knee. That's your right hand to your left knee. Your other hand travels to your hip. We take a breath in here. And on the exhale, we twist and bring the torso to open towards the left hand side. If the balance is really good, maybe that hand that's on your hip opens back and reaches towards the back of the room. Take a breath. If the balance is really good, maybe you look towards your hand that's behind you. Take one more in. And out. On your next inhale, we start coming back to center. Hands at the center of the chest. Big step back, coming to warrior one, bringing your heel back to the mat. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, land a little bit more, bringing the hips low and lunging forward a little bit more. Maybe you stay here, maybe you bring your back heel off the ground, coming to high runner's lunge, Vimanasana. Take a breath. On the exhale, slowly start bringing your knee towards the ground again. Finding Anjaneyasana, take a breath in here. On the exhale, we connect opposite elbow to your thigh. That's your left elbow to your right thigh, and you open your chest. Take a breath. And a long breath out. One more, inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center, plant those hands on the floor, extend your front leg. As you extend your front leg, maybe you point the toes towards the top of the ceiling or the front of the mat. Trying to keep your hips square, your spine is long. If you need blocks underneath your hands or books, you can bring your books or your blocks underneath your hands to find a little bit more stability in here and a little bit more length on your spine. Take a breath. And out. Rebending your knee. Start finding again Anjaneyasana position. Plant your hands on the ground, tuck your toes, step back to your plank. From here, it's your choice. You want to go through your flow, lowering down and finding your back bend, or you can come, push back to your downward facing dog. Whatever you need, it's your practice. Take another breath. And a full breath out. Let's do that again. Deep inhale. And a long exhale. On your next inhale, raise your right leg up and back. On the exhale, bend your knee, bring your knee towards the nose. Take a deep inhale as you reach back. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Deep inhale, reaching back. Maybe you stay in here, maybe you open your hip and you bend your knee and you point that knee towards the ceiling while your hands are pressing on the ground and the shoulders are square. Three-legged dog. Take a breath. And out. One more inhale. Full exhale. On your next inhale, start squaring the hips back. Bringing your knee to the floor. Bringing your right hand closer to the midline, below your face. The other hand travels to your hip, opening to Vashisthasana. Side plank. Your hand can come to your hip and we open the chest towards the side. And maybe, if the balance is good, we reach the hand towards the sky. Take a breath. Keep rooting your foot on the ground, your knees on the ground, and reaching the other hand towards the sky. Take one more breath. And out. Start bringing both hands back to the ground, bringing that foot back, kicking it back. On the exhale, we plant that foot in between the hands, runner's lunge. Take a breath in here. Empty it out. Option to stay here or to plant the hands, rooting down through your feet and your hands. Start feeling how your back leg is lighter as you start bringing the back leg off the mat, coming to standing split. Bend your knee as much as you need so your hands feel steady on the ground. Take one more breath. Full breath out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we step that foot beside the other and we fold. Take a deep breath in. Long exhale. And maybe we open the feet hip distance apart and we bend the knees and we connect index and middle finger to surround the big toe. We take a breath as we lengthen the spine. On the exhale, we fold forward and the elbows travel towards the side. Take another breath. And a full breath out. Your crown is pointing towards the ground. Take one more in. Full exhale. Start releasing your fingers from your toes, lengthening your spine. Exhale here. Grab your hips with both hands. Start coming all the way up to standing position. Let's do that on the second side. All right, so we ground again through the left foot this time. The other foot starts feeling lighter from the ground, and we find that the leg that is standing is very strong. And we find just the knee up in 90-degree angle. This is a great option. This is if you feel steady in here and you want to stay here, this is great. Building balance in here. If you feel a little bit more adventurous, of course, you can bring your knee towards the side, focusing on your drishti, your point of concentration, landing your foot on the inside of the calf, the thigh, avoiding the knee joint. We don't want to mess up with your knees. Once you're there, if the balance is good, maybe your hands come to the center of the chest, or reaching your hands towards the thighs, trying to keep the tailbone in. Take another breath. And out. The standing leg is strong and straight. Take one more in. Full exhale. Releasing your foot from wherever it is, coming back to center, 90-degree angle with the knee. Maybe we bring the hand to opposite knee, left hand to right knee, the other hand travels to your hip, and we open the chest towards the side. Maybe we stay here, or maybe we reach the hand towards the back of the room. Take a breath. And a long breath out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center, hands to the center of the chest, and we step back. Big step back as we bring the back heel to the floor. Warrior one, take a breath. Exhale, land a little bit more, lunging forward. Take one more in. On the exhale, we move the back heel, and we bring the back heel off the ground. Vimanasana, high runner's lunge. And on the exhale, slowly, we start bringing the knee all the way to the ground. Maybe even we untuck the toes. Take a breath as you land in Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, with twist. Parivrtta Anjaneyasana, pressing the hands together, bringing the elbow towards your thigh. Take another breath. And a long breath. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center, plant those hands on the ground and start unfolding that front leg. Again, option to bring your hands below, your hands above your blocks or your boots. Your foot can point towards the ceiling or towards the front of the room, trying to keep your spine straight. Hips are square. Take one more breath. And a long breath. On your next inhale, start rebending that knee, planting those hands on the floor. Big step back to your plank. From here, you decide with knees or toes, you lower down, or you find your downward facing dog. Take a breath. Full breath out. If you're going through your flow, keep your flow with your breath. Take one more in. Full exhale. On your next inhale, reaching your left leg up and back. Exhale, rounding the spine. Bring the knee to the nose. Take a deep inhale as you reach back. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Deep inhale, reaching back. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you open the hip towards the side and you bend your knee. Bringing the knee towards the ceiling. Your heel comes to touch your bum. Your shoulders are square, both hands are planted on the ground, pushing on your mat. Take one more breath. And out. On your next inhale, start squaring your hips back again, landing your knee at the center of the mat, bringing your left hand below your face. Your other hand comes to your hip, and we open the chest, Vashisthasana. We take a breath in here, maybe we reach the hand overhead, lengthening, reaching with that hand towards the sky as we keep the hips elevated and we keep a straight line with our legs. Take one more in. Full exhale. On the exhale, start coming back to center. Plant both hands on the ground, release the knee back again, kick it back. On the exhale, plant that foot in between the hands, setting up for runner's lunge position. The hips are low, straight line with your legs. Take a breath. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you plant those hands on the floor and we start transferring our weight until the back leg feels really light and it starts floating all the way up, standing split. Keep your hips square. Take one more in. Full breath out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we step that foot beside the other and we fold. Option in here to take Padangusthasana as the previous round, or to bring the hands underneath the feet for Padahastasana. Your feet are hip distance apart, your hands are come below your feet, and we step. And we open the chest as we inhale, and on the exhale, we fold forward, and we bring the elbows towards the sides. Bend your knees as much as you need in this pose. Take another breath. And out. Your next inhale, start releasing your hand, lengthening the spine. On the exhale, we fold forward, planting those hands on the ground, stepping back to our plank. And we flow with knees or toes, we lower down. Find your back and inhale. On the exhale, push back to your child's pose, your knees open towards the sides, your heels, your toes touch, and your hips come towards your heels. Your forehead comes towards the ground. And if you want to rest your shoulders, you can reach your hands towards your sides, towards the back of the room, keeping your chest open and your spine long. Take another breath. And a long breath out. One more inhale. Full exhale. Whenever you start feeling ready, start coming back to your seated position, swinging your legs towards one side, releasing your hips to the ground. And we spread our legs. We bring the right foot to step on the mat, Marichyasana. So the foot steps on the mat, the heel aligns with the sit bone. Take a deep inhale here as you reach the opposite arm overhead. On the exhale, we twist towards the right hand side. And as we twist, we wrap the leg and the other hand comes for support on the back of the mat. If we're feeling pretty good in here, the other foot is active. Keep pressing that thigh on the ground. If we're feeling pretty good with our twisting here, we can even cross the elbow and open the hand towards the side. Take another breath. And empty that. With your next inhale, start coming back to center, extending that leg forward, bending the other knee. Marichyasana, second side will lengthen. On the exhale, we twist, wrapping the leg first, bringing the hands for support on the back of the mat. We take a breath in here. Maybe if we have a little bit more space, maybe we cross the elbow and we open the chest a little bit more. Take a breath. Full breath out. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we start coming back to center. We release the legs to the ground and we release our torso as well to the ground, finding our reclined position on our back. Let's work a little bit with a bridge pose. For those of you who have blocks at home, I always suggest you take the passive variation if you can, if you want, if you can. It's really relaxing and it's really lovely. I personally like it. If you want to stay in the active variation, you certainly can practice Setu Bandhasana or bridge pose without the block. So I'm gonna show the two different variations. For those of you who want a little bit more restorative time right now, and this is pretty great for those of us who sit a lot of hours in the computer in a chair or are very pretty much sedentary. It helps us with the flexibility of the spine. So bringing the feet to the ground, the hands to the ground, we reach the hips up and we bring a slide block underneath the sacrum. We make sure it's underneath the sacrum instead of the lower back. In the lower back, it's gonna feel pretty uncomfortable as my glutes are kind of collapsing in here, and it's a weird position for my spine. So if you have your block, make sure it's right under sacrum. And you can rest in here. You can even reach your feet towards the front, extending your legs. This is pretty intense too. And if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can even bring your hands overhead, and it's a full bridge posture in here. So you can stay here a couple of breaths, and this is great. For those of you who want a little bit more of an active variation, let's do 3 sets of Setu Bandhasana. First, we bring the hands and feet to the ground, pressing, rolling the shoulders back a little bit so the chest is nice and open. Take a deep inhale as we press the feet on the ground. We reach the hips up. Trying to keep the glutes active but soft. You can't even touch them. Like, see how the glutes are active but soft. The thighs, differently, are the ones that are working in here because the heels are kind of pressing on the ground. We take a breath and a long breath out. Keeping the hips where they are, take one more in and a full exhale. Whenever you start feeling ready, start bringing your hips back to the mat. Second option for bridge, again, we plant both hands and feet on the ground. We rest for a cycle of breath. Getting ready for pressing the feet, activating those thighs, reaching the hips up. Option to stay here or to clasp your hands behind you. These will make the shoulders roll even a little bit more back, opening the chest more. It's gonna feel a little bit more intense. And even the hips will go a little bit more up. If you have tight shoulders, this might not be a great option. Keeping your hands on the ground can be a great option, and maybe even seeing if you can reach for your heels with your fingers. Keep your sides active. Again, the bum is active and soft. Take one more breath and a long breath out. Last one, inhale. On the exhale, we release all the way to the ground. Third option for active bridge, reaching the arms overhead. Please feel free to stay in the variation that feels more comfortable for you. If you're done with back bend, that's great. You can just take a moment and rest and focus on the breath. We press the feet on the floor. The palms are facing towards the sky. In this variation, we just press the feet on the floor as we bring the hips all the way up again. The position of the shoulders, as you can feel in this posture, is a little bit more active. You can feel it more in the shoulders. There is no compression on the neck. If you feel any type of compression on the neck or pinching on the lower back, please step out of the posture as soon as you can. Take one more inhale here and a full exhale. Last one. On the exhale, we release all the way down to the floor. For those of you who are in the passive variation, this is your cue for if you want to remove your block from underneath your head and lowering your head all the way down to your floor. Extending your arms by your side, letting your knees fall towards the right hand side and your side goes towards the left. Your gaze goes towards the left. If we wanted a little bit more of an intense twist in here, we can even cross the legs and find a little bit more of an intense twist. I personally like this, with the legs kind of apart. Take a breath. And on the exhale, we come back to center. Deep inhale on the center, and on the exhale, we release the knees towards the other side, and your gaze travels towards the second side. We take another breath. And a full breath out. Last one, inhale. Full breath out. Whenever you feel ready, start coming back to center. Bringing your knees into the chest, giving yourself a little squeeze in here. Maybe you even bring your nose in between your knees, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Squeezing your toes, your calves, your knees, your thighs, core, chest, shoulders, arms, fists, face. Take a breath and empty it out, and extending your legs to the mat, extending your arms towards your sides, and we prepare our body for rest. Let the body surrender to this pose for a few minutes, letting your mind be still and calm. Akandamandalakaram Vyaptayene Sarasaram Tadapadam Darshitam Etasmai Sre Guruve Namaha Akandamandalakaram Vyaptayene Sarasaram Tadapadam Darshitam Etasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you're happy in your Shavasana, you're welcome to stay as long as you need. you're ready to invite some movement into your body again, start wakening it up by finding few movements, gentle movements on your hands or on your feet. Whenever you feel ready, start finding your fetal position on your right hand side. There is no rush. Take your time to move. Take your time to breathe and to connect with the ground and energy. You start feeling ready, pressing your hand on the ground, coming back to your feet. Your hands at the center of the chest, in Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment, find gratitude for your practice, for your presence in this earth, for the possibility you have of moving every day. Rubbing your palms together, generating more palm energy. Bring your palms on over your eyes. Rubbing your palms one more time. And just bring that healing energy to that part of the body that needs it the most right now. Thank you so much for your practice and your presence in here. And it's always an honor to be here with you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Namaste.